So I just want to welcome everybody to the Collaboratory. Like I just said about a couple of minutes ago, I'm Eloy. Just giving an overview of the Collaboratory. So here's Matteo Pellegrini, the director. You want to just kind of get in there
Yeah.
and
So the Collaboratory, maybe some of you are already familiar with it. It's been around for about 12 years, and we have sort of a dual mission. One is to train postdocs and senior scientists in teaching and research. The other one is to help the campus in research and training. And so we do, you're more interested in the latter. And so we do that through teaching workshops and also by doing collaborations with labs. So as we'll talk about today, what we're here mostly to discuss is how you can attend the workshops in the Collaboratory and receive course credit for them. So that's the main topic of conversation. But in the future, if you're interested in help with your research, you can apply for research collaborations through the Collaboratory. So basically, the way the workshops work is that we teach one workshop in the morning, one per week, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And in the mornings, they're usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings, and in the afternoons, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoons. And each workshop, is usually a couple hours. Each day is usually a couple hours. So essentially, to complete a workshop, you must attend all 3 days. And there's homework and quizzes, so you must complete those as well. Yeah, I think I covered everything. So there's a schedule.
let me get out of this real quick. So let me see. Stop sharing real quick.
So basically 20 workshops, right? So 2 per week, 10 weeks. So the workshops are divided into introductory, intermediate, and advanced. If you're doing 275 A and B, you can, or 199, you can take any of these workshops. But if you're a bioinformatics student who's doing 275 A and B, then I think we only recognize intermediate and advanced.
Yeah, that's in the PhD. Those are your bioinformatics PhD program, not that.
What?
The PhD is the PhD program.
Yeah, but if you need to take a basic one, just let us know. But so we encourage the bioinformatics students to do the more advanced ones, right? So just to run down these, introduction to Python, pretty self-explanatory. Introduction to Unix. As you might know already, a lot of compute resources on campus are through the Hoffman cluster, which is a Unix cluster. And so by taking this workshop, you not only learn a little bit of Unix, but you learn a little bit how to use the Hoffman cluster, how to log in, how storage is provided, how to submit jobs and request resources, etc. So for anybody who will use the Hoffman cluster, this is kind of a useful introductory workshop. For those of you who are doing NGS data analysis, so next generation sequencing, we have an introductory workshop, tells you a little bit about file formats, FASTQ, and sequence alignment. We then have a more advanced Python workshop, and then machine learning. So obviously that's a big part of what a lot of people do. So I think here we'll teach various machine learning techniques using scikit-learn in Python. We also have a workshop on R. So those are the sort of 2 most popular languages, Python and R. And so this one will go into basics of R as well as data visualization approaches. We have one workshop, which is a bit of an outlier. If most of you are probably interested in data analysis, but if some of you are interested in actually preparing samples for sequencing, then you might want to attend this workshops where it kind of walk you through the various steps of starting with DNA and RNA and then converting it into a library that can be placed on a sequencer. Then we have a basic workshop on stats using R. So some of the newer genomic techniques include spatial transcriptomics. That's where you visualize transcripts on a 2-dimensional tissue. Take a tissue slice and you can visualize thousands of transcripts, and you can do various analyses to reconstruct cell identity and cellular organization within the tissue. Another kind of powerful technique nowadays is predicting protein structure from sequence. And so that can be done most effectively using this tool called AlphaFold. So for anybody who's interested in structural biology and interested in how do you predict structure from sequence, then this workshop would be useful. Single cell RNA sequencing is probably the most popular way to do RNA sequencing nowadays because it lets you identify sort of heterogeneity within samples, what cell types are present. Cancer genomics reviews databases and other resources for cancer studies. Metabolomics allows you to study the metabolome, so small molecules and larger molecules using mass spectrometry and other techniques. You've probably heard of large language models, right? They're at the heart of all artificial intelligence. So like ChatGPT, all that stuff is based on large language models. But large language models can also be used within biology. So if you start with, say, a DNA sequence, you put it into a large language model, you can get sort of an embedding, and you can then do computation on that data. So it's an interesting emerging technique for doing various biological analyses. And so in this workshop, they'll cover the basics of what large language models are, how you access them, how you process with them. And then sort of the traditional way of doing studies of gene expression is with RNA sequencing. So this is a bulk instead of single cell. So we have 2 workshops where we cover the basics of how to align and process bulk RNA-seq data, and then how to do downstream pathway analysis. We have a new workshop, which we've just introduced this quarter, which is a bit more theoretical. So I think I don't know as much about this one, but I think she will review tools for modeling population genetics experiments. So, if you're designing or doing population genetic studies, you want to have access to tools for modeling that data to figure out what can and cannot be done with population genetic studies. And lastly, at UCLA, there's this program to collect all our electronic health records into one resource and make it accessible to researchers. And that electronic health record is also coupled to genomics data, because at the UCLA Health System, they're also doing sequencing and microarrays to gather genomic data from patients. So it's a massive resource with over 100,000 patients. And so anybody interested in translational research or linking genetics and genomics to health records, you can do it through these systems. But of course, these systems are under tight security because of privacy and health concerns. So if you're interested in learning how to access this kind of data, you need to have a MedNet account, because this is all done through the David Geffen School of Medicine, and you need to sign up early, like at least a month before, so that they can set you up on the system that you will be learning to use to access the health records. But still, it's a very powerful resource that we have here at UCLA. So, anybody who's interested in that, I encourage you to attend that workshop as well. Any questions about the workshops?
Let me switch over to the presentation real quick. All right, just make sure that everybody can see the slides online. All right, thank you. Sorry, it's because the panel blocks my view, that's why. All right, so let me go over how you register for a workshop. So obviously, some of you already, it's just redundant to you, but just give you an overview to those who don't know that you have to be an UCLA affiliate, which is most of you here. So what you would do is click on the tab on our schedule. So let's go back to the schedule really quickly. So let me go out here. Stop sharing. I hate when I have to go back and forth. All right. All right, so let me now we could see the schedule. So obviously, if you go on our schedule, those online, you just let me know if you can't see the slides or what I'm trying to show you. Just tell me, enter in the chat. So let's say you're trying to sign up for Python. Just give you a heads up. Python is extremely full. but doesn't mean you're not getting in. We do have a Zoom component to support those who are trying to take this workshop. So we're trying to get a secondary instructor lined up. And then once that, you'll get notification that you're coming off the wait list. So you'll go here. Down here, since you're a UCLA affiliate, you will go here to the blue square and obviously you'll fill up the form. In the form itself, you will go over, you'll just enter basic information about your name, your email. You'll need to understand what are the prerequisites for this workshop. So this is a very introductory workshop, so you'll see that it's an introductory course. If this was more an intermediate or advanced workshop, you will see that it will require, all R and GS analysis tools or whatever it needs. These prerequisites are not required, but they're highly recommended. The reason behind that is that we don't want you to show up to class and ask you how to start up how to start up a terminal box on your Mac, because it takes away time from the people who are ready to learn their, RNA-seq, whatever they are. So please pay attention to those prerequisites if you're taking more of the intermediate advanced workshops. Obviously, most of you are graduate students and some are you online are undergraduate, so you'll just fill out here. If you happen to follow the other categories, just let me know. Just you go outside another square that you are a visiting researcher from this other university, and then you use that. Okay, just you need to keep that in record. All right, so most of you are graduate students, so you do have a lab you're working in. That's where you enter the PI name or email. However, if you don't have a PI, in this case, most of this comes to the effect with the undergraduates, you could just put my name and my email in there, so it's just to satisfy the requirements. You'll pick the department you're affiliated with. Obviously, some of these departments are pretty broad, so just click the closest one as possible. In time, you are going to be updating this because there's more demand. There's more departments being affiliated, starting to take workshops at the lab, at the Collaboratory. Another important step to take is also just be honest about your coding experience. This helps our instructor tailor his or hers their instructions to you, because if they see this is pretty much an advanced crowd, then they're going to teach the workshop more differently than say if this mostly beginners. In this case, Python tends to be mostly beginners, so we don't usually have people who are advanced skill in this workshop. If you are, you're in the wrong workshop. There's advanced Python. Obviously the schedule. Yeah, let's say obviously these workshops already filled up, but you'll see how many spaces will be left. So you have 10 spots left, and then you go on the wait list. Normally, if a class like this is so popular, we will try to do our best to accommodate the crowd. So the overflow will probably be on Zoom, and we'll make the accommodations of grading afterwards, because a lot of time the classroom will even though it's fully registered, a lot of people don't show up and it's taking somebody else to say, no, just call you guys in. Obviously, we right behind the people behind you, we have about 6 Macs. We just got them last year. If we have these Macs just in case to adjust any technical inequities that you have on campus, even though this is UCLA, but obviously those are for your use if you don't have a laptop, or your dog peed on your laptop and you have something that didn't work with. So yeah, Sonia. Question online?
I had a quick question about I enrolled in the class and I know it says in person, but then I found out I had to go to a conference, so I won't be here. I still want to do it, so is there a way if I just click
Are you missing out 3 days?
wait list?
Are you missing
I'm
out?
missing 2 days of the 3.
Yeah, I'll answer your question at the end, but that's a good question.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So lastly, you'll see that there's a special need for reasonable accommodations. This may be whatever you need. As I said, I have accommodations through the Center of Accessible Education. I can bring a note taker in here. We'll try to accommodate you that you need time and a half or whatever. Or in this case, I have COVID and I need a Zoom link and I can't come in after all. So that's where you probably want to fill that in, and it gives me and the instructor time to accommodate you the best way possible. So please use that accordingly. All right, so let's go back to the slides. Share. No, not that. Slide. Everybody online can see the slides again? All right, cool. So what is the Hoffman cluster? Matteo will give you more insight about that, because I've been working for 5 years. I still don't know what it is.
Well, so I mentioned this a little bit when I was talking about the Unix workshop, right? So many of you may be familiar with this, but UCLA has this very large high performance computer, has thousands of nodes, and is accessible to students and others here on campus. So you can, request an account to take our workshops. If you're taking like the Unix workshop, you'll need an account on the Hoffman cluster. So you can follow the instructions on how to request an account, and then you can ask. Once you create an account, it has to be approved by a supervisor. So you have to list somebody as your supervisor. If it's for the course, you can list me as your supervisor. And basically, yeah, once you're on the Hoffman cluster, you can run all sorts of programs. You can install your own programs. You can use existing programs. And you could submit hundreds of jobs, so you can do very large scale computation. So it's a very useful resource for people in computational biology.
So we're going back and forth here. So how to register for Hoffman? Let's go back outside again. Sorry, keep going back and forth here. So what you do is go to our Collaboratory website. So it's qcb.ucla.edu. You go to the cluster user guide, and it's a 3-step process. So step 1, you will need a UID. So if you don't have a university, you could follow the instructions here on how to get one. But most of you are UCLA affiliates, you should have one. Then you'll go to, if you don't have one, you can just obviously go to this step right here. Step 2, you will go onto the UCLA login and connect with the SIMs. There, you will request a cluster. You'll follow the instructions there to request a cluster account. And please, this is very important that when you do select the sponsor, select Collaboratory Workshop, not your PI, because if you do so, it'll end up you're at the mercy of their discretion to approve you. If you send it to Collaboratory Workshop, then I will get the notifications that, okay, this person needs access to it. A lot of students make the mistakes and put, like say, Mateo or some other scientist they're working with, and they don't get the notifications at all because we don't get those notifications too. I just got to check it every morning.
Unless you're going to use this for your research, then you should be selecting your PI.
Yeah, but
if it's just for the course, you can select this. But if it's for your research, do use your PI.
And let your PI know to approve you. But in this case, I just highly recommend go Collaboratory Workshop. Lastly, then we're going to ask you, once your account is approved, you will need to return send to set up your account password. A lot of the troubleshooting we get is that people forget their password. So just be sure that to remember it. But if not, you can always submit a ticket to the help desk. They have about a 24-hour turnaround. So please have that ready before a workshop. So you don't want to, let's say you forgot your password on day 1. It might be by day 3 you're really able to access Hoffman. So please do that with timing. So you can find this information on our website. So please do so. All right, so let me go back to the slides. Make sure that everybody online can see the slides. Please let me know. So let's go about how we get graded here. Obviously, Matilda to give you a rundown as that is you take at least 3 workshops for 275A, and an additional 3, so a total of 6 to get 275B. In some quarters, I've seen students take fall, they'll take all 3 for A, and then just only 3 for B portion in the winter quarter. You could do that too. With the exception of PhD students, so if you're in bioinformatics PhD, we made the accommodations that you could take up to the 3 workshops throughout the academic year. So we'll keep track of you. So if you take 1 workshop in the fall and 2 in the spring, you'll still get credit for 275A. And then you want to take this, if you want to take it near 2, the B portion, you can do that too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to register for the class when you complete the workshop. So you can start taking them in the fall, but when you think you're going to complete them, either in the winter or spring, then you can register so we can.
And I'll do my best to track you. So what was the next question? Follow up? Some do, yeah. Some
mostly, but not
no. More of the advanced ones tend to be different. The more interactive ones tend to be repetitive. So just to let you know. But bioinformatics PhD students are recommended by their director, their chair, there not to take the introductory courses because the expectations are that by you being a PhD program, you already have those introductory skills going in there. So they're recommending that you take intermediate or advanced workshops. So research prep 199 students or 199 students, if Mateo wants to reframe that way, you must take 4 workshops throughout the quarter. So if you know, they could be ranging from all the basic ones or all the advanced ones. Where you got 10 weeks to get at least 4 out of the way. So, but however, I understand that our block schedule doesn't, our schedule doesn't fit the university block schedule. So let's say you have to miss a class because you have a actual class to go to. Please let us know and we'll try to accommodate the best as possible. But the idea is to complete 4 workshops within 1 quarter. 99 students, on rare occasions, if you will do register for that, you're only required to take 2. That 199 and 99 are on the undergraduate level. It doesn't really concern grad students, so just to let you know. But that tells you how much the big data has grown, and now that's undergraduate students are now starting to take the workshops. So how do you determine what grades determines that? So 33% of your grades comes from participation, 33% comes from homework assignments, and 34% comes from the final exam of the workshop. What is it, a final exam? It's not necessarily there's gonna be a final exam of all 3 or 4 workshops you take at the end of the quarter. Is that at the end of the week's workshop, you'll be given a quiz by the instructor. This could be either an in-person quiz, a take-home quiz, open note quiz. We have 20 fellows, so they'll give you a quiz on their own discretion. The idea, they'll give you a deadline, on when to turn it in. It could be fluctuating, it could be interactive, it just depends on the fellow. But don't let that intimidate you. It's not a final exam you got to cram for at the end of the quarter. It's just a quiz that just trying to evaluate what type of knowledge you gain from these workshops, and it shouldn't be no more than 10 questions, if anything. Your participation comes to attendance. Since you are taking these workshops for 275 A and B, your participation in person is required. So if you miss 2 days, you're not getting credit for participation. This is a very interactive workshop, so ask questions. If you need some help from this instructor, that's part of you can stick after class and maybe ask questions for that. But participation relies on your attendance in person. I understand some workshops are overloaded and you're on the waiting list. We'll try to accommodate your best as possible. So let's say Python is the most obvious one, and I know a good chunk of our students who are taking 275 A and B are on the waiting list. We're gonna make the exception there because we don't have 70, we're not able to accommodate 70 people in this room. So we'll try to accommodate as best as possible, okay? Lastly, the homework assignment, that'll be a project that shouldn't be taking no more than 2 hours, depends on the instructor. But it could be a take-home, it's gonna be a take-home assignment, there's gonna be a certain deadline that you need to turn it in. So if an instructor on week 1 gives you, I need this homework in by the end of week 2, that's your deadline. Please do not turn in a homework assignment at week 10. So be sure that to follow the instructor's deadlines, so that way we could add your grades. I could give you some type of progress report if needed, because if you haven't turned in homework, I can't give you a grade, or give you an update, okay? Next, obviously I've already talked about the PhD students that to answer your questions, like I said, sorry to be redundant here, but like you're required to take intermediate advanced courses, and yes, you could take 1 workshop in the fall, 1 in the spring, or 1 in the winter, 1 in the spring, and you can take this over a 2-year plan if you want to do that. And that's only for the bioinformatics PhD students. If you're an MS student, you have to go 3 1/4. So the deadlines, obviously I just talked about that. So registration deadlines for workshops, so the exception is for week 1 because everybody's just coming onto campus. So we're closing registration for week 1 on Monday. So I give the instructor the full roster. That way they'll reach out to you what technical requirements, what it gives you an intro to those about themselves via email. Their technical requirements, and if they're asking you to download a certain program to get ready for a workshop. Normally, let's say week 2, I would have the deadline on a Thursday night. So that way I give the instructor to, say in this example, Dr. Weinstein, his roster, he will have all weekend to troubleshoot any issues with you guys. So if you need to download Jupyter Notebook or something else, or you have issues with Hoffman, that's grace period is the best time to work with Dr. Weinstein to sort things out. So that's why we have deadlines, so that we can troubleshoot the stuff and not take away time from class. Obviously quizzes and homework assignments, which I just said was, some instructors tend to set deadlines on like over the weekend, so that might be a deadline, but like also it's just on the discretion. I try to be more not lenient, but like I will go by what the instructor wants. So if they want if the class ends on a Thursday, they want the homework assigned on a Monday, that's their discretion. If they're lenient, they'll give you to the next week. That's their discretion. But please follow the deadlines.
Sorry, we can't see the slides.
Yeah, I said that. So I've been talking for about 10 minutes, but yeah. Can you see it now?
Yes.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. For those online, I mean, I'll share the slides with you in the recording later. All right, so grades. Let's talk about grades really quick. This is the overall grade. So the grades will be submitted the Friday of finals week. So there's week 10 in December, and then when you guys are taking finals, I'm required to turn the grades to Mattel, who is the instructor by name, to submit to the registrar's office. So everything needs to be submitted by then, and so that means I will tally up all your workshops you took. If you've taken, I will tally up all your participation credit, your quiz, and your homework assignments, and that will be your overall final grade. I will turn it into him, and then it'll appear on the transcript. So please follow the deadlines so that there's no stress of you that okay, you're missing this and I have to go find you and like, oh, you didn't ever turn in this assignment from week 5 and then I have to audit. So just follow instructions and make it easier for both parties. Accessibility, obviously we do have our desktops back there for anybody that doesn't have it, their own equipment. We used to have 12 desktops here, but as time has gone on, I think laptops and tablets have become more affordable. We've been decreasing the amount of technology we have available here, but nevertheless, we do have that provided. So when you look over here, we do have we have a 5G router, Wi-Fi. We have our own signal here. On the walls, we have our Collaboratory AP password with the login and password. This will give you up to about 500 megabytes and once our wire factor gets it up to 1 gig of speed. So we should be connected here. If any issues come arise, you can also use EduRoom I just highly recommend not to use MedGuest might reach out here, but not much. UCLA Wi-Fi and UCLA Wave don't really work up here because of the concrete walls we have here. So we do have that Wi-Fi provided for you as well as that. But if you need to borrow equipment, you can also go to the UCLA library in case you need to borrow a laptop to take home. So there'll be additional loan programs out there for you to provide the support. All right, so let's talk about self-reference. There's videos and slides. We try to accommodate everybody as possible. Let's say you have a class on Wednesday, you only can make it Tuesday and Thursday, but I would ask the instructor to record the workshops on Zoom, and then we'll give you that copy of the day you missed. So please just shoot me an email. I'll try to accommodate you as best as possible so that way you can catch up and be ready for Thursday, just in case something like that happens. And also I'll be receiving the materials and slides from the instructor. So if there's any things that you need to review or reflect on, shoot me an email. I'll get that provided to you as soon as possible. All right, just to let you know, students will not receive credit by just looking at videos and slides. I've done in the past, students have taken advantage of that privilege that, oh, I'm gonna miss I'm sick and I'm gonna miss Thursday. Can you just give us? But the reality is, if you're just looking at the slides and just, oh, I'm gonna use it. I just don't want to come to class. I saw him walking around the quad like the very next when I was getting lunch. So please, we provide that because you are taking this for grades. I will if I see that, I will dock you on participation. So do not take advantage of that. We just providing you to accommodate the fact that our schedule does not really reflect your schedule to some extent. So you now receive credit if you're just looking at the videos and slides and not coming in class. So our fellows are available for any questions or concerns you might have. I'm not a scientist. He is. Our postdocs are experts in their field. So please don't go call me Dr. Lopez, which I'm not really a doctor. Asking like what my pipeline is like, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I could guide you to the instructor who could give you a more in-depth, answer your questions. Usually some of the instructors do stick out their class a little bit, just to go over with you to help you out on something you're stuck on. But you also reach out to them via email, and maybe they could work with you on their schedule, whatever fits for them. But they're available to answer any questions, concerns you might have on that particular on any particular things you have with those with a workshop. And troubleshooting, let's go. Obviously, already talked about with Hoffman 2, where did you submit the ticket? If you have any registration or grading concerns, like, oh, it's like week 8, I need to take one more workshop and all the classes are FAC. Shoot me an email. I'll try to do the best to accommodate you. As well, if you're having grading issues, like you wanted to know, like I've taken 3 workshops, but I did terrible in one. Can I still take another one? And then we'll figure it out what you can do to fix that grade. So the idea is like we try to take the 3 highest grade. If you're taking 4 workshops, I'll take the 3 highest grades you got to work it out. Other than that, frequently asked questions, you always go on our website. It's located in our tab right there. And you'll find a tab right here, frequently asked questions. And but yeah, that's kind of gives an overview of how you get graded by taking classes at the Collaboratory. Does anybody have any questions both on in person and online for me and Mateo? All right, it's pretty straightforward.
There was one question initially online, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So let me talk to the girl. Sonia, what was your question again?
I think you might have answered it, but I was saying that I can only attend 2 of the 3 days in person. So I was wondering if I should drop the class or not.
So if you could attend 2 out of 3, you should be fine. But if you only can make 1 out of 3, then I probably recommend you take another workshop another time that's when you're available. Like I said, you could take say for example you're missing the Tuesday, but you're coming Wednesday, Thursday. I will provide you the videos and the materials that you need to catch up, and then also the instructor's email so that if you have any questions or concerns, you can address them. You can address them personally about while you try to catch up. But if it doesn't come in, if it doesn't, you're gonna be gone all 3 days or 2 days. It's probably best to take a workshop some other time.
Okay, thank you so much. Got it.
Sure. Any other questions about any? Yeah, sure.
And that's like kind of a prerequisite for a lot of the other,
Yeah.
I guess, intro classes, and I don't have experience with R. But I do have class like in the afternoon when the workshop is. So like on Tuesday, Thursday.
I mean, if you want to take a workshop that requires R, but you can't take the intro to R workshop, you can always just do it on your own and, develop some basic R knowledge and then take the ones that require R.
But also R is also available each quarter, or isn't there? You can also keep that in mind if you want to take.
The workshops are on our YouTube channel. I mean, they're also on our website, but they're also all archived on the YouTube channel. So you should be able to find all the old.
Yeah, so you just look up for just to talk about. Let me know if people online can see what I'm seeing because it's kind of hard to go back and forth. If you go over to our QCB website, Collaboratory, so we have archive videos there from the past that if just in case you want to learn on your own, you can do that. But like, I just feel like it's you have a better learning environment when you're in person. So, any other questions for those? Okay, sorry. If you can't see, it's because it's kind of hard for me to switch back and forth. So. I will share the video for everybody just to a self-reference. So sorry about that. Any other questions online or yes?
Is there just like shops that are available across the year?
Yeah. So if you go to our Collaboratory tab right here, let me first of all make sure.
We set our schedule each quarter, so we don't have a schedule for winter and spring yet.
But if you're trying to give an idea, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying it's like you can look at the archive. I mean, they're not all taught every year, right? So it's hard for us to know because it depends on which fellows are available, what the demand is for these.
The new
But if there's a
the
specific
update.
workshop you're interested in that is not being taught in the fall, you can just ask, is this one likely to be taught in winter or spring?
But to follow up on
Best guess.
to follow on your question too, but historically, like the workshops you have taken, we have taught here over the last couple of years on the side right here. So it gives you an idea of what we've been taught over time. Obviously some are just we've been phasing out because they're no longer relevant to what's in today's world in data science. But like we had historically over 38 workshops here. But that just gives you an idea. But if you're looking at what just rule of thumb, like the winter schedule should be coming out around after Thanksgiving. And that's where I'll open up registration for the winter. A lot of the workshops are going to be redundant. They're going to be the same, but a lot of the intermediate advanced workshop will be changed up to something else. And then around, I want to say a couple weeks prior to spring break, you'll see the spring schedule, and you'll get something like an idea what new advanced intermediate workshops are. We're always going to have Python, Unix, and like I want to say the first week twos tend to be week three tends to be the most of the same, and just like after mostly anything after week five tends to be changed around. But yeah. Any other questions? Great. Somebody online? If I register to both 275A and B, but only attend two workshops this quarter, I don't have semesters here. Will I fill the two courses? Yeah, and yes and no. So it's actually a pretty good question, because keep in mind, if you sign up for both A and B, then you're required to take 6 workshops. That means you're going to take 3 sessions, which it counts as 1 workshop, and that's all Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for 6. That's 6 throughout the whole quarter. If you only take 2, that will mean you fail to get credit for A because you're missing 1 workshop, and then you fail to get credit for B because you're missing 3 workshops. So I would advise you, and then what would happen is that I'll be consulted on a one-on-one basis. That was it that you were not following instructions, or you just didn't care. But most likely it's a situation like that is that you most likely will get incomplete, and by university policy, you're required to take all the missing workshops the following quarter, or you will get an F. But that's on a case-by-case basis, because something tragic might have happened, an emergency, you got a mango in a car accident, you can't walk. I take it on a case-by-case basis. But if it's something like negligence because you didn't follow policy, then we're gonna have a problem. But don't sign up for the rule of thumb is don't get too excited and sign up for something you can't handle. So if you feel you can only do 3 workshops in 1 quarter based on your work schedule, I mean your class schedules, by all means do so. But I've seen students try to bang out A and B 1 quarter and get it over with. So, but solely.
Are you a bioinformatics student, or are you something else?
Siki, are you a bioinformatics PhD student, or what's your?
Yes, I'm bioinformatics PhD.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how many workshops.
As we said before, for the bioinformatics students, you're required to take 275 A and B, right? But you can take them over 2 years. So once you've completed 3 workshops, the quarter you complete the 3rd workshop, sign up for 275A. So that then we see that you've completed 3 workshops. And then after you've completed the next 3, sign up for 275B.
The following year.
And you have 2 years to do that.
To cover 6.
Pressure to do it right away, right? So don't sign up for A and B this quarter unless you really want to take 6 workshops.
And then you could get out of the way and complete them successfully.
Does that make sense? I mean,
this is only for bioinformatics PhD students, not the bioinformatics MS students. So just let you know. Everybody else has to take 3 in the quarter, or if you can handle 6, by all means, that's on your plate. You could do that. Ultimately, you're the driver of your own destiny. You're the ones who can dictate what type of schedule you want. Okay. I don't tell you what workshops you take or I'm not here to tell you, oh, I recommend this and this and this because you are in medical informatics. Ultimately, you take the workshops that you feel that are fit to your schedule and to your needs of your research. So that's why they're available for you. You can do that. Any other questions or thoughts or anything? I think we're good. Yeah, great. Obviously, I'll give this video as self-reference to you guys. So if you need to refer back to it, let me know. But I just want to thank you for everybody for coming in, and welcome to the Collaboratory. We look forward to seeing you this quarter. And then we'll be here next. We'll give you more household instructions about eating and drinking in here next week. Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody online. So yeah. I hope I recorded it. Hey.